Hi, I'm so excited to share with you some of my sewing that I want to do this year. One of the things that I would like to do for myself is I want to make a 1920s dress, and I've done this for myself before using the 1 hour pattern, and I did it again for a client of mine, and this is her dress right behind me, and I'm ready to do it again for myself. And I'm pre-recording this, so you're going to see this in 2022. This is actually a dress that I've made for 2021, but I want to film the process as best I can. I don't have all the bells and whistles like some of the YouTubers out there because I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this for fun, to share a little bit of my knowledge. So if you're enjoying this, please like and subscribe to my channel. I do try to upload weekly. I usually upload on a Sunday morning, and that's always my goal, but bear with me, I'm a human, and this is not my job. My job is a seamstress and a homemaker, and so those are the things that I focus my life on, and then all of this just kind of comes in between. So filming is kind of a pain. I don't have an overhead camera at this time, so it's going to be a lot of straight on, and I'm just going to do the best I can, and I'm not going to film every step. We're just going to kind of talk it through. There's lots of great people out there who have done some amazing videos in regards to the 1 hour pattern, and so I just want to encourage you to just do a quick search. So the first thing I wanted to do is I had this fabric, and this is gorgeous navy blue with these silver sequins, and so this is my inspiration. This is what I wanted to do. I don't have a lot of navy blue in my closet, so this was I want something fun in navy blue. I think I have somewhat of a formal in a brown and a black, but I don't have anything in this, and I think I do in red. So, and I know that navy is just a great color for me. So with that, I started doing some searching, like I don't have any navy blue accessories. So I went on to Poshmark and got these great shoes, and they are not vintage shoes. I have a very large foot, so it's hard to find shoes that fit me, and these have a bit of a pointy toe, but they are definitely somewhat inspired by the 20s. So just again, do a Google search. People have posted online catalogs and things of that nature where they have done different I'm sorry, they scan the catalog that has the shoe, and I'm going to reference what the Closet Historian is someone I really enjoy. I love watching her videos. She does an amazing job. Oh, beautiful work. She does beautiful, beautiful work. So I'm going to mention her down below. I'm going to try and put her her link in here. She's got a ton of followers. She does this, I think, for the income, and so she has sponsor videos and so on and so forth, but she's an amazing one to follow. Then I started thinking I would love a purse, and this was advertised as navy suede, and just to keep in mind that suede is this is a dyed suede. This doesn't come naturally, so it's not a true navy, but I was totally fine with that. And then the clasps and everything is silver, and I think they did advertise this as a 1920s clutch. It may be, I do not know. I just know, oh, here we go, I've got filigree on this side. I just know it was lovely and beautiful, and that's what I wanted, something like that. It was within my price range. So again, I found that on Poshmark and ordered that. And then I was looking for a hat, and I do have a fun hat over here that I could easily wear, and but I was looking, I'm gonna grab that off my little wall here. And this is how I hang my hats. There's a tack in the wall, and then I sew a little piece of yarn, and these hats aren't very heavy. All right, did I trick you? Yeah, so as I was editing this video, I realized there were some issues with the sound quality, so I'm going to do the best I can to talk to you a little bit more about what I had to delete because it wasn't good. And yes, I'm in a different outfit because it's a different day. Okay, so I was talking about the blue hat I have up here and how it's modern, but to me it wasn't dressy enough to go with the sequined fabric. And so I went on Poshmark and found this cloche, and it is not a 1920s cloche. I honestly don't know. I don't know what it is, but to me it was close enough. And I thought it was so cute. one of the things I noticed was that it had this wonderful netting and this fun velvet bow and this lovely blue. Again, not quite navy blue, but it definitely, I mean, to me it's okay if it's not matchy 100%. To me that adds to the character. But I noticed it had this purple inside here as well, and I thought, you know, with this fabric, there's a sheerness to it, and so I'm obviously going to have to wear something under it. So what I decided to do is I had a bunch of this stretch velvet, and this is just a crushed Panay velvet fabric. It's a very inexpensive one. It's a stretch velvet, and so I decided to make an underdress using this. And the other thing was, I was thinking about the 1 hour dress pattern. And if you're new to sewing, the 1 hour dress pattern may be a bit confusing or may be a little too challenging, and that's okay. So I wanted to show you one thing that you could do. And this is so easy because you could even take a top out of your closet, but and use that as your pattern. So this one is Simplicity 7236, and you see it's just basically like a cotton, it's like a cotton t-shirt, long t-shirt, okay? So this is about where it is hitting on her. This is about where that drop waist hits in many of the 1920s silhouettes. So this is one of those things where you could actually just make that t-shirt, and then in a cotton or a nice stiffer fabric, and then you could add a skirt of sorts. And the skirt, you know, it could be as easy as however you measuring the bottom of that shirt, and just adding that piece on, or you could, you know, 1.5 times that, and then gather it up and then attach it, or you could do lots of different things you could do. But that is a very easy way to make the 1 hour dress, is by finding a pattern that's very simple. There's no darts in this. This is just a very simple t-shirt, cotton t-shirt. So that's a great idea if you're a little afraid of trying the 1 hour pattern. All right, we're going to get a little fancy with the voice recorder. So here I am using a comfy dress from my closet. That orange dress is a LuLaRoe, I think it's called a Carly. And I'm going to use it as my guide for this underdress. And here I am now finagling this fabric, cutting it down so that it's a little bit easier to handle, and getting that bolt out of my way. Oh, maybe I'll put a cool little design back here and act like I'm a really cool YouTuber. Alright, so there we go. I'm just trying to match up a little bit. I just take the dress. I'm not taking my dress apart. I'm just pinning it at the seams. Again, I'm sorry for the quality. I just don't have the equipment, so this is just a very basic instruction. But I'm basically pinning it where the so the back is on a fold and the front is on a fold, and then 2 sleeves. So it'll be 4 pieces total at the end of the day. I'm just kind of measuring stuff out, even though you can't see this. What I'm doing, I'm cutting it out. I'm gonna have to work on my angles, that's for sure. My goodness, I'm so sorry about that. But here I'm just kind of cutting this out and getting it ready for the serger. And it's so funny, as I'm watching this, I remember there was a point where I was like, what did I do with that one piece? But we just keep going. Almost done here, it looks like. So, and then we are going to get the serger out. Okay, so here I had taken my sweater off. It was a 3/4 sleeve sweater, and I decided to use that as my sleeve pattern because I wanted 3/4 sleeves. I didn't want long sleeves, and I didn't want short sleeves. Alright, so in this one what I'm doing is I am just serging the shoulder seams together. Then I'm also serging the top of the arm to the dress on both sides. And then I will serge from the wrist to the armpit down to the hemline. So very, very simple construction. Serge the neck, serge around the wrists, and serge the hem, and then you can just fold it and use a regular machine and finish that off. So here is, okay, so here is so far what I've done. I have not finished anything, but I have I'm trying it on. I didn't leave boy, there you go, there's my phone. Lovely. I didn't leave much space here when I cut it, which the purpose of this is to be an underdress anyway, but I'm already looking at it like, oh, I have other ideas. So I will be adding this into my costuming because I think that it would be great for some costumes that I've been thinking about. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring this down lower. I do know that in the front. I do like the length of the sleeves. Again, these aren't finished. This is the raw edge. And I have not finished the skirt either. Yes, I'm wearing sweats. It's cold. So, but yeah, overall, I really like this. And this is just basically taking, you know, an existing piece I have. And because this is stretch, I'm able to do that. Now, of course, if this is what's great about this is it's very simple. And now that I know from that particular piece, I'm able to create something pretty fun. I'm gonna do it this way now. Create something fun. So I'm trying to figure out what the best way to do this. Maybe it's that way. I don't know. I really like it. It's comfortable. I don't wear a lot of these style dresses, but I do have a couple from LuLaRoe that I got at a secondhand store. They weren't ones that I purchased brand new. So pretty happy with it. I like the length. I think the length is great even for, you know, to go under my 20s dress, but you can see it. It's that crushed purpley velvet. But I think, yeah, I'm gonna bring it down. And this is how I do my measurement. Let's see here. I didn't bring my tape measure. So I want it down at least, I think 4 fingers in the middle. And I'll just taper it from here. And I'll just serge that edge. And to finish this, there's 2 ways to do it. I can make bias out of this and do it that way, or I can tuck it under and do the double needle. So I know I don't want a serged edge around my neck because if this shows, I don't want that serge to show. So anyway, things to think about between here and my sewing room when I get this down there. Okay, here I'm using my double needle and I am finishing it up that way. Okay, boy, that light, sorry about that. So I went ahead and I did the seams on here. I'll switch the camera, and I used a double, the double needle, and went ahead and brought the neckline down. So I'm liking that. So I brought the neckline down and went ahead and did the double needle on that as well. And I'm just, so this is going to help me now to determine, there we go, there's my back. I put my hair in a ponytail so you can kind of see where it hits me on the back. And this is all using guesstimates when it comes to, I'm loosely tracing something, not putting a whole lot of detail, like I'm not worried it's a little messed up or not. So I'm pretty happy with that as a very simple underdress, and it's just really fun purple. But yeah, double, if you look at the bottom of a t-shirt, you'll see that double, usually a double needle where they've used a double needle, and then it kind of has a sergy look on the back, and it's hard to see on this, is very dark. So it's maybe one of those things that I address in a future video, but there we go. There's my dress. I'm pretty happy with it. So here is my quote-unquote mock-up of the Simplicity pattern I was talking about earlier. It's hard to see in the mirror here, but it is one of those where I really like the drape of it. I like how the sizing of it, and this is what's going to help me determine what I'm going to do with my 1920s dress. And this is just made from some random cotton fabric I have in my stash, and you can use it to any type of fabric as long as it's a cotton or something. It depends on what you've got. I'm going to cut mine on the bias, and so it's going to give me a little bit more stretch if I absolutely want it. I had that pinned. It's undone now. But what I want to do is, I know I want an off-the-shoulder look. No, I'm going to want an off-the-shoulder look. So because everything's going to be cut on the bias, because I want that pattern to kind of have a different look to it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually seam rip this apart and cut this up and use it as my pattern. Okay, so now comes the thinking part. So I have less than 3 yards of this fabric, which is plenty of fabric if I want to cut it this way or even this way, but I want to cut it so that it's at an angle. So to make it so that the front has the length for the yardage I have, my goal was to match up this corner, or a corner of the neckline, with an armpit on, and I matched it up here to the top of this selvage. Okay, it is pinned here. But remember, I don't have all that fancy stuff, so I'm going to pin this down, and yes, that means that this part does not have any fabric underneath it. So what I'll do is I will cut this piece. So I need to make sure that I have a seam allowance, because then this will be a separate piece, and that'll need a seam allowance. And I might just go straight up and down. I don't know yet. We'll get there. But I know that with this mock-up, I wanted to extend it 17 more inches. And if I want the pattern of this to be at an angle all the way down, that's why I needed to move it up. Okay, so now I'll have at least that 17 inches that I want on the front. Now, there's other things I could do. I think the back is probably going to be this way. And that way I don't have to worry about having enough fabric. But, you know, I could even stop it at some point here. Like, I could stop it right here and then have an extra piece down at the bottom. Like, that could be my 17 inches and it can go straight that way. And I'm probably going to do that now, the more I think about it, because I know it's more pieces, but it'll give me a little bit more fun. And here's the other thing. If I cut this right underneath this, let's see how it's raised up. If I cut just right underneath, that would be a very fun scalloped edge at the bottom of my dress, because it's finished, so I won't have to do anything about that. But I do have to make sure then that my bottom panel is correct all the way around. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and cut out the front and make sure I add the seam allowance on the shoulder area, which again, I don't have to add a sleeve on that other side if I don't want to. The options are there. I'll cut out the back panel, and then I will cut out the skirt, or that bottom flounce. So exciting. It's fun to be creative. It's fun to be able to think outside the box and do something a little bit different. So, super excited. Just need to make sure I have 17 inches on the bottom to get the length I want. I'll cut out the front and the back pieces first, and that second shoulder spot, and then I'll get back to you. Are with basically the tunic. So I was able to get those at the angle, and The sides are sewn up. There's no closure on this or the purple because there's so much room in the neck area that it can just go over the top. So all I've done is I've serged everything together, and I think serging is going to be plenty. And then I think I want, see how the purple's just kind of poking out. It's very subtle. And I kind of would like the same for down below, but I'm not exactly sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually pin right here, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I pinned the skirt right here because that's where this ends. Of course, that's not making it for seam allowance. Come on. And then I have taken whatever was left and cut off a straight, just a straight, like it's a rectangle right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of hold it up to here and see with the existing how far that goes down. If I want it to poke out, I'm going to have to bring it up a bit. So I might need to remove one more of these guys, I think, to get that little flounce. And, well, I don't know, I'm holding up pretty high. I guess I should probably pin it and find out. Okay, so I'm thinking that that's going to give me just a little bit of peek underneath. It's hard to see because I'm wearing my sweatpants, and I kind of pinned at the bottom as best I could. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And this piece is actually longer than the girth of it all, and I think what I'm going to do, because I'm trying to change up a little bit, is I'm basically going to bring it together, and all the excess is going to create kind of a drape right there. But we are definitely going with the low look, and you know, you can trim this out if you want. You know, it's one of those, I thought, oh, I could put, you know, purple around it, but I think if I did that, I would be something that I could remove to kind of just tie in the purple a little bit more. But I want to try and make it so that these are as versatile. These pieces can be worn separately or together. I can easily, with a neck like this, create, boy, that's lovely, sorry. Still trying to figure this out. Can try to add different necklines to this later that are detachable. So that's something I could do to change up the look a little bit of this, or even this purple dress. So just some thoughts. All right, I'm going to work on that bottom, finish up the edging on everything, and I'll be back. Okay, so here we go. Here is the dress together. Everything's finished. I've got the drop waist, which is very common from the 20s. There's, you know, if you're not liking, it's not the most flattering, which is part of why I tried to do these at an angle so that it kind of gives something different, and also changing up the hemline a little bit. So I will show you what I did up close, but overall there's a little bit of the purple peeking out to do, just kind of give the effect that I was wanting. I'm probably going to, you know, you can make rosettes, or put a pin, maybe a purple pin, to kind of tie in the purple a little bit more. There's lots of different things you can do, and that purple's just peeking slightly underneath. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit. So it's basically acting like a slip, but also giving a little bit of purple to my look. So there's the side view, as best as I can do it. Yeah, so I might add a little belt in here to kind of cinch it up, to kind of give a little bit more of a waist look, but I don't know. The idea was to make it simple, and using the 1 hour pattern, which honestly, this is something that I can do in that amount of time. It's just a matter of thinking things through. So I will show you what I did to the hem so that you have a better idea as to what I did down here to kind of change it up a bit. And I'll get back to you in a minute. Okay, so when I
when I matched it up over here, I kind of got an idea of how long I wanted it, and I ended up cutting it off square, and then I decided I didn't like how that hung. So basically I ran a serging stitch at an angle from the point of where I finished on the dress down to the end, and I really liked how that turned out. But then it kind of left a little bit of an opening, so I thought I'm going to add a little something. So this is from the pieces I removed. I just serged both sides, and I created 3 of these lengths, basically the same. I just kind of bunched them up there and tacked them on top of each other, so it's kind of like, I don't know, like a ribbon, like a participation ribbon kind of thing. And this is just one of those clips that also doubles as a brooch, and I pinned that in so that I have some of that color. Now, just purple, and it's not the same exact purple as here, but my idea is to just kind of get some of those colors together. So that is it on the mannequin. Okay, so real quick, I wanted to show you the earrings I'm going to pair with it. They're not blue, they're not purple, but they're clip-ons, very comfortable, and I think they go well. I'm going to add the beads here and a nice necklace here. And then the other thing for sure is I'm adding a little flower down here from the purple to kind of bring the purples in. So that's part of why I'm wearing purple here. And this kind of has a bit of a purple in it. So very excited about that. So now